talk about the book by Seicho Matsumoto, Point Zero. And this one is I think one of the three Seicho Matsumoto's must-read book. First one is the Points and Lines, and the second one is Point Zero, and then third one is the Castle of Sand. And I read all of that, and this is one of the last one that I read. And but I think this is the best one among those three, because I think this one is very kind of intimate, because there is no police detective or anyone investigating vigorously this particular crime, but this woman whose husband kind of vanished after like only a short time of marriage, and so she's decided to investigate what happened to him and everything. And so it's all about her investigation by herself, with some other helps, but no police or no professional detectives involved in there. And so almost like you are looking at this particular event through her eyes, and she is very, very smart, I would say, very confident, but at the same time it's kind of reserved in the manner of typical Japanese manner, very, very reserved. The characteristic of hers to deal with this, but at the time, very, very straightforward. So this is about the post-war period of some kind of a social stigma attached to something, and it's about the post-war culture after the U.S. military came to Japan and occupied Japan, and so in this particular region of Tachikawa, I think north of Tokyo, northern Tokyo, I would say, there's this big military base, American military base there, and there's lots of American influence in that particular city, Tachikawa. And one of them is that there's a woman who come to this area to serve American soldiers, for fun or prostituting or whatever, or playing with young American soldiers. This group of people is called Pam girls. That means they are very much kind of looked down upon in the Japanese society, because they are pretty much like a very, very very, very open, very kind of aggressive attitude toward the Japanese culture, and they kind of flirt with American soldiers to play with them, and usually they have a very colorful clothes, red and yellow and blue skirts, and all these things, I think, coming from America at the time, 1950s. The culture of 1950s was imitated by those girls, and so kind of frowned upon by Japanese people. But at the same time, they are very, very modern and completely against the traditional Japanese, traditional woman's culture. And so, in a sense, they are kind of a forefront of this post-war culture. But at the same time, many Japanese people kind of felt that they are kind of a disgrace of Japan. So it's about this, the woman, Teiko, married this man who, Teiko is about 25 years old, and the man was about 35 years old, but by arranged marriage. And so she didn't know much about his past, but he seems to be very decent, very, very capable, very affectionate man. So she realized she can marry him. And so after maybe a month or so, I think a couple of months, he went to the business trip to go to Noto Peninsula, which is northwest part of Japan, facing Japan Sea. And very, very rugged mountain. I think recently they have earthquakes there, and very devastated from the earthquake. But anyway, it's a beautiful northern snowy country, and very rugged rocks and cliff facing Japan Sea. And also there's this Kanazawa city of Kanazawa, which is very famous for the traditional Japanese housing, and very, very promoting this traditional samurai era type of culture there. And so this part, I think this man was used to work there, and so she wanted to visit there. But when he had a business trip there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and he promised that he will come back and after a certain time, but he never came back. And so he became a missing person. So she trying to find out what happened to him, and she goes to Kanazawa of the prefecture, and trying to find as much as possible. And so she finds little by little, without anybody's help in the beginning. But later, there's this colleague of her husband to take over that husband's position in Kanazawa. And so he started to help her. And so they gradually kind of getting to little by little about husband's past and what happened in that area, particular area. And so it's all about that, and this psychology of this Teiko trying to find out one by one without help of the police. It was kind of a eye-opening reading here, just because of her own judgment, her own insights, her own instinct to find this crime perpetrator, just because she is kind of a very determined and smart person. You are kind of drawn to her character. And so one by one, this particular crime goes a little bit expanded, and victims kind of increased, just because husband's missing one, and husband's the brother was also got this particular crime scene, and also some other people got one by one, kind of killed. And so it's culminate to the last ending. And it's very, very nice. As I said, it's not like a violent, it's not like a very, very vigorous search for this crime perpetrator, but it's more slow burn, understanding what's going on, slow burns of that you're thinking of what happened really. You're trying to find out, what this happened. Incident is leading to this incident, leading to that, and so those things culminate to the ending. And so this one is, I feel like the best of Seicho Matsumoto so far. The one I read, it's not that many I read, but I would say this is most enjoyable, just because the story itself is very cohesive and very, as a crime mystery, I would say very well organized and not going beyond your expectations a little bit. Sometimes Seicho Matsumoto's fiction is like a tremendously different, part of the fact is coming in, and then wow, that's kind of a very, very eye-opening there. But this one is more solid. Story slowly progress, and in such a way, in a kind of a loving way, because this taker is a woman, and her approach is to investigate without hampering other people's, freedom, other people's right. So very, very slowly diverged, and so that was very, very nice and very, very well constructed fiction writing, I think, among his Matsumoto's fictions, and I loved it. And so there is a movie, probably 1950s, I think they made a movie, 1959 or something like that. So immediately after I read the book, and I wanted to see this film, and so I found it Criterion channel, and I saw it. But movie, although it was directed by Yoshitaro Nomura, and this collaborator of the screenwriter, I forgot his name for now. But so I thought, wow, kind of interesting, this nice two people making this film there. So I was hoping that that's going to be good. But film is kind of a, because this is kind of a slowly developing story, and it's very in detailed circumstances, background, and all these things. But the movie was very, very precisely chopped into the, thinking of all the viewers, attention, and so forth. So very kind of compact. All the events are compact, very, very precisely trying to find this particular niche of crime mystery movies. And so in that sense, maybe crime mystery movie fan may enjoy it tremendously. But for me, after reading this, the movie was kind of a choppy and more or less like neglecting that this psychological trauma, psychological effect of Teiko and other people's psychological mind is well depicted. And also the bad thing about reading books first is that you kind of visualize a character in your own way, kind of idealized person. And so when I saw the movie, movie was completely different. Some of the people much older depicted in here than depicted in here, and kind of disappointing. Some of the characters are very beautiful, like a refined woman is in this movie was kind of a little bit different there, and so yeah, that's kind of disappointing when you read this. But I think when you watch the movie itself by itself for the first time, I don't know that was a bad movie. I think this could be a good movie. But I kind of tremendously recommend this Point Zero. And other name is Zero Focus. Japanese name is Zero no Shoten. Yeah, so that Zero Focus is better translation. But this particular book named Point Zero. And this is translated with Hiro Kawai, the same author, same translator of the other Matsumoto Seicho's book that I read. And it's very, very good translation, I would say. So I kind of 100% recommend this book, and I wish if you don't know anything about Seicho Matsumoto, this could be the first book I recommend for you to read. I think it's much, much more representative of his skills of depicting Japanese background, Japanese post-war culture, and programs and difficulty of the Japanese post-war, and overall the mood of this feeling of this very dark Japan seaside, Kanazawa, Noto Peninsula areas, scenarios, very, very well depicted here. And today it's like a tourist spot, of course. And I wanted to visit it. I never visited there, so I kind of got interested in. Wow, I'd like to visit there sometime. It looks like a fantastic, kind of a lonely, isolated, and more or less like a dark, gloomy atmosphere there, and that's fit in this particular the book. So I cannot divulge anything more than that in this book because of this crime mystery. You have to read and find out yourself. Yeah,